Welcome back everybody to Blood Rush League Season 2. We'll be seeing Malevolent versus Jinx. On the Mastermind, Cole Tower, this is Malevolent's pick. On the Mastermind, just as we head into the game, we saw Mr. Wesker, Mr. Albert there, heading topside, breaking the Sincar pallet before leaving the chase because actually I was going to say the corrupt was topside, but in fact it was bottom side. Our Mastermind did spawn on the bottom side of the map, and it was a very on the top side of the map. Oh, what am I saying? Anyway, it's a very rough block with actually for our Mastermind, having the corrupt split on main and also two bottom gens. So our survivors will have to where they can work their gen, but a good, nice tag onto our Nick now, and he's kind of forced to play this weaker tower, but actually a beautiful firecracker comes in from the mid. Fortunately, I will have to admit though that firecrackers are broken still at this current moment, and they are allowed in our tourney, so the blind is kind of like not as difficult to get as before. But actually, Nick fakes a vault there, beating the blind game, so instead just take a little bit extra time and go down to the double dash from our Mastermind player, and this will be a quick hook on 2 here. Next to around 20% progress gen, which is still low. Actually, we see the second system starting, so around 30%. But Mastermind will apply the naked gen kick, and yeah, it will start regressing from default 25% of the original starting their speed, plus the newly buffed 5% on the original kick. And we also decide to go to log skip that and check this other generator at 4 here, which we do see Lara actually starting to work. And Lara's now re-drop the jungle gym to avoid taking hit, and I guess our Mastermind decided to expecting the save, which is indeed the case, but missing our Renato there and actually just tagging Nick instead. So it will be a missed tag onto Mr. Cage, but onto Mr. Lyra, but Mr. Cage will still be in chase with the deep wound effect. And actually, I don't know. I was gonna say, I don't know what our Mastermind is doing, but going for the mind game and actually the double dash onto Nick, because they were just about to make this jump killer, which can spawn outside of main, but now they do not. So this will be the second hook coming in, and no generators completed as of yet, which is not really the situation you want to be in as survivors. If this was indeed the case, I would expect a triple split and 2 gens to pop very soon. Actually, we don't see this because we actually instead see 2 generators just behind the 50% mark. So I guess, yeah, I'm not expecting to see that many gens for our time. And Nick has been on the hook and 1 gen does pop in the background. This is probably the generator that Ace has been working since we haven't seen him the entire game. But Renato and Lara here, kind of just, yeah, we've seen Renato go for the unhook, and probably this is the unhook as well from Renato. So his gen really can't be that high progress. So I think it's going to be a pretty fast down, but actually our Mastermind does collide with some oxygen there, and will continue to chase our Nick Cage around the tower, which is just broken, and our whole team is now coming in with an FCP as well from Lara to prevent the tunnel out from perhaps going for much longer. But unfortunately, Nick is kind of just away from everything. We'll take a Mastermind dash and just head towards Shack. I'm not really sure if the FTP play was worth making. I think a body block is just more effective there. And actually, we'll be vaulting over the God Tower instead of attacking immediately, which will zone our Nick Cage even further, and he'll just be forced to play out Shack Tower until he is dead. And as we're doing a bit of W key action, he's not that good at the bounce landing, and he'll make it towards the jungle gym, which has been pre-dropped, but not broken yet. So the break will come in now, and also the 8% hindered will come onto Nick Cage. So I would not expect this chase to go on for much longer. Let's go for the vault though, nice bit of time save there. And actually we see main generator pop. This is actually surprised that they were working the main generator. It's probably the generator that Renato was on in order to complete it, because that was on, from what I remember, that was pretty much corrupted at the start of the game. So the only player who could have been working was Renato, and it was finished just then. And yeah, still a bit of a dire situation for our survivors. They've only gotten 2 generators done for this tunnel out, which should be happening really soon, I would say. Nick is playing this God Rock on the wrong side, but does win that, and actually doing a nice flare there to avoid the potential second dash, but being patient, does not use the second dash, and will just, you know, take the M1 onto Nick, and he'll be dead actually. And again, this is 3 gens left, and we have to take stock of the situation on the survivor side, and same as the other side. We have to take stock of the situation anyway. So reset comes into Ace. We know there are 2 survivors at Shack. Our last survivor is on a gen, probably on the top side because they had to. They're probably the one who beat the gen. Lala's here. Ace is around here somewhere. So now what do we got in terms of gen situation? Well, we have a 3 gen somewhat top side. We have this mid gen and like 1 and 3. It's pretty decent 3 gen for our mastermind, and then also bottom side we have the gen. I think 5. Oh, but we actually see another generator pop. Good efficiency from our Ace here, I believe. Sorry, not Ace. Wow, Venato here. Sitting on the generator at 4, which is pretty much always sitting at 50% until someone was committing to it, which was just then. And Lava does pop the live and does a nice dodge onto the dash here to just make the main building, but without many pallets left, I think it will be a fast down. Okay, getting the pre-drop off onto the junk filler, and this is actually, again, good time waste here from Lava here, but oh my gosh, actually Mastermind did not have the second dash, so was a bit timid into using it, and now we do see the other generator at 9 pop. So actually, I think, yeah, Mastermind has kind of overreached here with the chase, and Lava has kind of just been juicing up here with the 1 health state that's been available for them for the past like minute, and actually deciding to fake the bolt, and unfortunately loses that 50-50, so we'll be going down. But I think our survivors have now kind of been put into a much better position than before. Now they have only 1 gen left, and the other 2 survivors are healthy, and the gen split is not terrible for our survivors to be working. Although we have 1 near the hook, we have this really far deep 6 bottom gen, which probably will be sat on by whoever's not getting the unhook right now, which, let's see who it is. Probably, I would assume Venato got unhook, and I'll probably be right. Usually you're gonna send in your unhook from the first unhook to unhook, because you know they're gonna have like the perks which are relevant for unhooking. So I'm not surprised to see Venato there. It means Ace is probably working that deep 6 generator, and now our killer here, Formula is just looking to get heinous, and does manage to land this double dash, luckily for them, onto Venato here, but actually not opting to use the pain resonance, which it is. So there'll be a pain resonance, another 20% of the focus generator. Actually, we'll just be scouting around. Maybe my player does smell out a potential rescue coming in. It is the case because I think this is our player coming in for the trade here. I'm not really sure whether that was the best play to do, but it was made, and Ace again still has all the time to set the generator. Maybe there was a bit of reason to slug there, and that might have been the case because our generator at 6 does pop. So yeah. Well played to the survivors, although I think the 3v1 did come in relatively early, and also 3v1 came in when I think there were 2 injured survivors as well, so there's a fair amount of pressure that our mastermind had through just injuries. Our Lava Puff managed to save that and bait the chase onto her, and pretty much like the complete opposite side of the map to where the generators were at 11, and then managed to juice up as well, going for a very long chase, and yeah, I think that was the turning point for our survivors, and it seems like Alava was wanting to take a easy hit for our Ace, and I think that would mean that Venato is working that 9 gate, but it's hard to immediately tell which gate is on. So we'll just be chasing Ace. He is, I believe, the threshold. No pain was used on him, but that wouldn't matter because he lifted up. So he'll be chasing mid now, and the gate does get open. So Ace actually will be heading towards 9, so I'm not sure if this is a gate that has indeed been opened. But all he has to work with is this little bit of rock filler and this matchstick here, because there's really nothing else in this area to be played out. And I think both sides know at this point that uh, the survivors have to reset, or at least try to reset, and actually instead we'll take it down. Not really sure if that was necessary. With two other injured survivors in the trial and our ace, of course, injured, I think taking it down there was probably not really. Yeah, it wasn't really needed, I guess, because ace is most likely going to die here anyway. But yeah, ace is just pushed further and further away from our 98, and I think our hopes as the survivors even trying to get fresh man out is probably not going to come through. But actually, ace here does manage to do stuff on this RL tile, and it will buy enough time for Lava to get reset. So I'll assume that our Renata here will also get reset. Oh, actually a very nice last second flare for my ace, and this actually does suddenly look possible as the 99 spin burst comes in from ace. Very good patience there, and I think that will mean that they do manage to get the fresh man out of the door without any other stage coming out. But even if Lava dies, she's already deadlocked, so there's only one stage for survivors. So actually they managed to recall this back to a 7-hook stage, 7-hook game, 7-9-hook game. So well played to them. From what I thought was a pretty rough start for our survivor team. Very well played from Lava to again bait the chase outside the generators, and then really capitalize on the overcommit that our Wesker did. But we'll be seeing very shortly if Jinx can meet the performance of a 7 stage or do better. Welcome back, everybody. Now, what we just witnessed last trial was a 7-stage performance from Malevolent's Killer and Jinx's Survivor on the Cold Tower 1. Again, we have the mastermind, Mr. Bertie here, checking out the top side to cover up the split. As no doubt our survivors have scored there and are stealthing away from this, but we do see scratch marks, and so that means someone is here to make it. Not be surprised if I saw a head-on player, but it seems like not really good. Wesker, Mr. Burt, does not walk through the locker yet, so instead we'll be changing us. Why? Oh, this is not right, sorry. This is a Mr. Vasquez, a Mr. Jonah here with the live play. Going back into main building or not, taking the 4-lane instead actually, and
are you trying to make me
colliding
angry?
with the 4-lane slightly, so losing a bit of distance, but not enough distance to get hit through the pallet, and we'll W away onto the 50-50 bit of the wall, kind of guessing where our killer was, and does win that. So we'll keep on chasing around this pallet, and actually we'll continue to take the chase to the bottom side of the map. I'm not really sure if this is the correct play for them, because the clock split was top, so really what you want to be doing is taking the chase into the clock generators. Of course, if you take the chase into the clock generators, then the other survivors, the other 3 survivors, can start to work generators. So David instead will take a chase away from our Jonah, and actually will also drop a firecracker to blind Wesker enough to manage to make the pallet, but not really make the pallet, because he'll get hit over, and that will be the first down. And yeah, no one's done that, but not really, not entirely easy to tell generators when they've been working at this point, because if we look back for a bit, we do see the David hanging around the Jonah's chase. So they couldn't really have been working a generator, and it does seem like we find the double here onto the 7 generator on the hill, and we saw our Claudette had the balance landing, so I think our mastermind just wanted to force that off. Pop the generator first though, because of course you do want the maximum pop progression, the maximum pop out possible, especially if you're like right next to gen. Actually, it was not a double generator. My apologies there. It was actually a double split there. And we do see the shack generator pop for that time, which has happened for the first chase. But I think as we do find injured, I believe Jonah. I can't tell. Oh, nope, it's our David. It's our Talon. As we're chasing Mr. David here, I'd like to close the door a little bit more, because I didn't manage to close into that when we're looking at Malevolent's side. So on Jinx's side, the killer, we do have eggs and the medallion. I believe this is one of the more like I'd say one of the more like zoning combos for Mastermind. The medallion is arguably one of the like stronger items. It gives you a little bit more reach on the first dash. But then the egg also gives you the nice bit of zoning capability, which again is quite useful at times. So I think it's a combo which Nightlight still likes to this day. So anyway, a little bit of knowledge there. But apart from that, we have the standard pop painers and boodle, which I think most Mastermind players do. But actually, we'll just be grabbing our Claudette on the edge map here on the 4, and heading back to Hook. I think after taking the infection tag onto her, and actually another generator was done. So I think that was Nancy's generator at 7 completed for this time. But let's see if anyone's going in for the unhook, because if there was anyone going for the unhook, it would probably be Jonah here, because they're the ones who are probably in the best position to do so. We do see the visa on for that as well, and it is indeed our Jonah who's still top side. But actually our egg was nearly able to get the injury onto him, but now we do see 2 survivors running towards Hook. This is our Nancy and Jonah. So we'll be getting actually it seems like a completely free pull here, because Mastermind does swing slightly early, but now there will be a little bit of trouble since David is kind of zoned without any mid-map fillers to work with, because I think they just didn't spawn at all, and yeah, he's just be looping this rock as Nancy comes in for yet another tag, and Jonah's also here. Nancy is here for the FTP as well, but
I'll see you dead.
Yeah, that's not the play, I think. Giving away 2 health states just to delay the timeline. I don't think that's the play. I feel like they could have just been patiently sitting generators while Jonah dies, but sorry, as David gets tunnel ladder. Now they're kind of in a similar problem where David's found, and they're in this 3v1. Now they have to play with an additional 3 health states missing, and does seem to be the problem indeed, because David is found at Shack and not even deciding to drop the Shack pallet, and instead just greeting it and getting 2 tackles. And so this will be the death onto David at 3 generators left, but we did see a broken status effect on Jonah off, so there was a 4 people. I guess that could not have been second win either, because actually a very unfortunate thing about second win is that if you're broken while second win is activated and you're unhooked, you will not actually be able to trigger second win. It will just go on cooldown, and it will be used when you go onto the hook and get unhooked again. And if you're broken again as you're unhooked for the second time, then you get absolutely no value from it. So I guess Jonah was not second win, because I assumed it was, but he's not second win, and he got reset instead. And actually we do find another survivor at the main point on the bounce, getting thrown into the mid-map, but not getting thrown into anything. So we'll just be heading back to our generator setup, which does appear to be a very loose 5-gen on the top side of the map. Maybe not even a 5-gen, just a standard Cold Tower 3-gen on the top side of the map, with 1, 2, and main. We also have like these other 2 outsider generators at 7 and mid. But again, we do find scratchies at main. Our survivors really do need to try and get a generator done on the top side of the map if they want to have a chance at getting or meeting the 7-stage tie condition, or actually trying to beat the tie condition. Trying to get 6 stages, which seems to be quite difficult in this scenario. They've already given away 3 stages and an additional stage on Jonah. So really, if anyone died, yeah, I mean they can't give away a lot of hooks, and our Mastermind is also playing quite patiently here. Just holding the 3-gen and not trying to overkill it early on. See that every time they take a tag, they just wanted to check in the 3-gen for the rotation to get the heal off onto the person who's just injured, and did indeed, now it is a case where since the Claude was injured, they needed to try and rotate these three and keep one person to reset Claude, and they just found the rotation on Mastermind there. So we managed to get a tag onto Jonah on the top side of the map, so I don't think he'll be able to make that much, but he has a lot first, so maybe he can take the bottom side before he is down. But let's see if he can extend the chase any longer, because he only has match sticks, so it's expected that he goes down after playing. But let's see if our Mastermind actually will get the mind game off her. Unfortunately, it will not be the case. Raymond does the GG carding. So mind game doesn't pay off, but he gets it down anyway as the reset happens onto Claudette. So we're kind of thrown into the situation we had before, kind of like zero progress with any generators. Since our survivors did need to try and rotate topside to break the 3-gen in order to meet the win condition, but yeah, they needed to reset the injuries before they could do so. So a bit of yeah, they couldn't work generators, right? If you're resetting, and of course you can't be resetting in the top side of the map, because if they find you on the top side and resetting there, and it's GG. And it does seem that our Jonah, it was indeed our second win player, FTP second win on the Jonah, and let's see the Broken Status effect come in. That's why we know he's second win, and he'll be healed in around 10 seconds, I'd say. Oh no, there we go. He's just healed, and we'll probably be looking for a spray and some scratch marks, some signs of life, that there's someone repairing this bottom mid generator. We'll actually be heading back towards 7, trying to push aggressively into our survivor, like safe spot, I would say, safe zone, because the generators are mostly done on the left side. And oh, actually Nancy being able to dodge a dash here is actually going to be quite important for our survivors. Preserving pretty much any kind of health state in this situation is very good for them, because they need all the time they can. They want to try and pop the region and try and, you know, get 6 stages or meet the Tycon, because it's going to be difficult in this situation. So yeah, I think our Mastermind again might have just decided that the chase is taking a bit too long, and will instead go back up and check the other generators, which was the correct play. Just before in the previous Mastermind trial, we had our Malevolence killer kind of like overcommit to lava, and then they managed to go for a very long chase, and it was very time wasting for our Mastermind. And actually, I believe 2 generators popped for a chase from an injured survivor versus an AP killer, which is, I think, in my opinion, quite incredible. But Claudette will be caught, unfortunately, without any paladins or anything. So take the M1, head straight back towards Shack. Of course, you need to be resetting at Shack, and we need to catch out. I believe this was Jonah working the top mid gen, and our Mastermind will again be trying to catch out the rotations, and that will be the case that Jonah is caught. But again, our Mastermind player just misses the double dash, and I think this might be a bit frustrating for our Jinx side. It's missing the dash on Nancy, and really, yeah, no reason. There were just 2-3 tags which they've just not been able to take, and there's a lot of time wasted, or a lot of time saved for our survivor side, I would say. And unfortunately, I would say, for our survivors, you do find the reset on Claudette, and I would assume here now that a Mastermind player would either try and commit to Claudette, try and get reset by Nancy, or they would commit to Jonah. But it seems like we just want to commit to Claudette here, since they are in the more vulnerable position on the jungle gym with a broken pallet. So there's not really much for them to work with here, and they'll just be done on the edge map at 4 here. So they'll be put onto hook, and this will be the 6th stage for our Mastermind. Still with 3 generators left, so really, I think our survivor team cannot really at this point. They would have to play absolutely perfectly, get rotations absolutely perfect in order to have a chance at winning. What they would need, if they were to play perfectly, what they would need is they would need the balanced player working the main building, and they would also need to pressure that other generator at 2 with the most aggressive exhaustion available to them, which I would guess is Sprint Burst, but I'm not sure if the Sprint Burst player has died on hook. So in the second case it would be live, but actually Nancy just deciding to run top side, playing for their life, but not being able to reach the Orbitar. So I believe this is the win condition, perhaps, net for our killer side, unless some erroneous disconnect occurs. Because this is our 7th stage acquired, and the 7th stage indeed will come onto the Fresh Survivor, which, if we remember last trial, we saw the Fresh Survivor escape from the trial. So now this is the 4th Fresh acquired for our Mastermind. This will be the win condition net for our Jinx's killer here. So even if our survivors manage to pop these 2 other generators in the loose 4 gen, they will still not be able to win the first set because it's already 1 for Jinx. So well played to Jinx. Again, I would have to say that for Malevolent's killer, they were put in a quite similar position to Jinx's side. However, I feel Malevolent's killer had a little bit more of an advantage because they had 2 tags at regens. Even with let's say maybe 25% gen focus or 50% gen focus split on gens, they had 2 tags, and that is not really a position you want to be in the Mastermind. And Malevolent Survivor side now, or Jinx killer. Let's see. I think there's only 1 tag for it, or maybe even 0 tags for the death with 3 gens. But unfortunately, because of the overcommit onto lava, again, I will have to re-emphasize the mistake that our Malevolent killer made on the previous trial, which is either just missing the dashes onto lava, or just overcommitting the lava, enabling 2 generators to pop. Which, again, we can see here that Jinx is a lot more patient. You know, securing the top side 3 generators, not trying to overcommit to any survivor, and just making sure that at least if they do commit to a survivor, then the generators that they've just checked have not had sufficient enough progress in order to pop for the time being chases. Jonah will be caught working the 2 gens, actually thrown onto the 7th tower here. This is our Deathhawk survivor. He's really got nothing to work with or play with his life, so I think it will just be the 2nd kill of the trial, I would guess. Anything could happen. And indeed, anything does happen, because our Mastermind does miss the dash, unfortunately. Again, just missing these crucial dashes, but at this point the game is already won. So yeah, I guess our 2nd death will come into Jonah after a little bit of extra time waste of the missing dash. And he'll just be heading topside again, of course, check off the 3 gen, of course, you want to defend the 3 gen, and they're zoned anyway at the top side. There's not really much for them to play off, except maybe our Claudette could use the balance landing off the hill, but it does seem to be the case because you said you saw Claudette. Or was that not Claudette? Am I tripping? Is that Claudette, or is that a slightly lighter split Claudette? It is Claudette. So it is our Claudette, again, taking the balance landing off the hill, running towards Shaq. I think Shaq palette is still up in this trial, so they will be able to safely drop it without any exhaustion available to them. But I feel like this Shaq palette drop does come around 5 minutes too late, because Shaq palette really dropped for the first 2 chases, and now with only 1 survivor available to do generators, the Shaq palette really won't serve as much.
Too bad.
But anyway, Slug will come in onto Claudette, unfortunately, reading the Godfiller, but I can kind of understand reading there was kind of required for Nancy to pop another generator, but they'll go down anyway, and Slug will happen, and Mastermind again will go back to the top side, checking the lead. Why am I not surprised? And actually, will not be able to come back fast enough because the generator does pop, and actually our Mastermind does try and go, I think, for a hug tech there, but missing it instead. Finally getting some egg value from this trial, because they finally do hit the Nancy with the extended 50% of the the duration, the timing window of the second. So we do get the down onto Nancy. It will be the last chase of the trial, but well played to both sides, I would have to say, as we do head in towards a 4k1 on the tower compared to, I believe, Jinx put up a 7th stage 3 fresh from their survivor side. So well played to Jinx taking the first set. This was not their pick. This was Malevolent's pick of the Mastermind. And next set, we will be having the nurse on the Sanctum of Wrath 1, which again we've been seeing a little bit more a little bit more often. Nurses, of course, an S tier killer. You want to, you know, get into the scrimming the nurse a lot more, but we'll be getting into that very shortly after we go into an intermission. Welcome back, everybody, into the fog where we'll be seeing Jinx versus Malevolent. On Jinx's pick now, they are up 1-0, stealing the Mastermind set away from Malevolent. So we head into the Nurse on the Sanctum of Wrath 1. Now, actually, this is, I believe, a name that I recognize. This is Mads, and I believe this is the Mads who's been pushing ladder. So I think they did manage to get a pretty high ladder finish as of, I think, 2 seasons ago, and taking the Nurse Blink onto Ace here and actually going for an M1, and this is actually going to be quite a fast down onto Ace in the corrupt side of the map. So as we're going into the first hook, let's just talk about Mads' build here. We do see Discordance, which is, I believe, the first Discordance I've seen this entire season. Discordance on the Nurse, but instead of the Pop Goes Weasel, opted to go for Eruption. So Discordance and Eruption, still not a terrible combo since Pop has been nerfed, but Discordance Eruption, again, going to be good in the 3v1 where the survivors will need to be trying to pump generators. And the last perk there, being the top perk, is going to be Thrilling Tremors from the Ghostface, which will block generators every 60 seconds for 16 seconds whenever you pick up a survivor. But we do find Claudette here quite early going in stealth on Ace. I would only have to assume that they are the Deliverance survivor, most likely with Unbreakable as well. So they'll be picking themselves up very shortly, most likely, as Ace will continue the chase on this side of the map. No Dead Hard actually we saw from Ace, so I don't think it was Spin Burst either. So perhaps a Decisive Strike coming in? Yes, of course, the Decisive Strike, and now most likely the Dead Hard Decisive Strike will come in. And it seemed like Ace has managed to nicely double back at the perfect time for both Blinks as our first generator of the trial pops. This is a very important chase here, I'd say, because you get the Dead Hard, and they do manage to pull off the Dead Hard off the one Blink. So again, this will be even more time wasted. Enough time for the second generator to pop, and Ace actually will be able to make it all the way past the choke point into the shack side of the map. So it's actually a very good chase from Ace here, from our Malevolent survivors, and they'll be hooked outside of this. I guess I'll just call it the bottom side, opposite shack side, the opposite of shack side of the map, but. Of course, now our survivors will be able to start working the generators away from Shack because Hook is in the Shack side of the map. But actually, we did find Nancy out here. I'm not really sure what she was doing with the scratch marks that she left, but no doubt that our Hook is coming in, and so Montes will be heading back to the Hook to see if they can finally get the tunnel out onto Ace. Now, Dead Hard is available for them. And actually, maybe I'm completely wrong in saying that this is the Shack side of the map, but it does indeed seem to be the opposite of Shack side of the map, where our ace has just gone down. So, bit of confusion from me there, but again, this map is the comp callouts are quite terrible for this map. But yeah, now this will be the death onto ace here, and this skill check, I believe, in the background. And 3 generators left, but I think our survivors have had enough time to work this shack side in order to pop another generator and try and get rid of this area of the map. We did find Nancy though on the edge map, and another generator is popped. Actually, our Nancy does get out of the locker at the perfect timing, and fortunately will not be able to last any much longer. Of course, not having enough distance to do anything for the messages right in front of the blocker. But my bad from before. It was indeed a Discordance proc That was why there was a loud notification. You saw this going to turn on. So that will be the next generator. Third of the trial completed. I think our generator split for our survivors is a lot more promising. Let's have a look. We have a bit of an easier 3-gen top, I would say. A little bit split on both of the other corners, and also of course the main building generator. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more manageable, especially with a hook outside of the 3-gen. But this is not really that good now. Claudette being C, Radius, now kind of just forced to run edge map. But I would assume, since this is the Deliverance Unbreakable Survivor, that our survivors are not too worried about this this chase hacker. But I think what our nurse is now thinking is that they will just completely leave the hook on the other side of the map and just go after Claudette because she's dying in 3-gen. Usually don't only die in 3-gen against any STS, but unfortunately being kind of zoned, she'll just go down. And indeed, we just see Mads picking up Claudette here, which is gonna pretty much be Deliverance Unbreakable Survivor. And actually, Nia's not opting to go for the unhook. So ignore I said anything. And our nurse will apply a rupture on this the shallow generator. I would just say the shack side, and just head back to hook because they know there are 2 survivors here. And if they did try and reset, then it will be interrupted. Now, fortunately for our survivors, they are not spotted, and now we have to head back to our Claudette, who is kind of stuck alone in this the shack side of the map. So they will have to be stealthing somewhere. But we do see scratch marks now from our Claudette, so I think it'll just be pretty fast down onto them because they don't really have anywhere to run, and they don't really have anything to work with. Like the LOS blockers are not really, and yep, that's the down onto Claudette. And actually, our survivors in the background have not opted to reset, but instead to double the other generator. So they did actually cross within the time that Claudette was chasing, and then came and went back, and then chased and hooked again to break the shack side regenerator. So now they're left with a pretty generous generator setup, but it will be difficult for them to attack it out. Oh, it seems like it was not, in fact, doubled. Because of course discordance would have come on if it was doubled, and it seems like it was just the single generator being worked by our healthy Mia, and means that our generator here must be on very high progress. Nancy's generator would have been at, I would say, 70% if Mia's generator had already popped at the time. So we'll see actually only 2 pistons left, so 50% on this generator here. And nurse will have to be doing a little bit of juggling now, because they'll have to start to take stock of the situation and start thinking how the survivors will want to rotate, whether they want to reset or not, which again right now doesn't seem to be the case, or again whether they just want to attack the generators, which again have a pretty generous split for our survivors, but not really. That's not good. Claudette is spotted out, trying to greed the generator, I would say. Maybe trying to catch the nurse a bit off guard with an early rotation back into the generator. But nurse just does, unfortunately, sit at the top of the main building to check if the generator is being worked on yet again, and he just caught the Claude out of position. So it'll be the dead onto Claudette, and now, since the unhook onto Nancy happened, and also the reset, we know that both survivors are here. So I'm going to assume that anything can happen. So Amir could go for a very long chase here, and maybe something could happen for our survivors. And it does seem like Anya is starting to run edge map, so they should be dead quite soon after they go down. Yeah, okay, just about now. And I would assume a slug comes in. Usually you just want a slug. Of course, you pick up, and then there's a chance for the other survivor to slug away and get hatch. If you hook this fresh survivor, then essentially you'd give the other survivor two minutes or slightly less now, maybe 90 seconds, to stealth away and just to wait out. But if you start with Survivor, then the bleed out timer of 4 minutes kind of gives you that extra buffer of time to look around to where the final Survivor is. So it's the luck and the kick on the generator, just make sure that it will not get finished. And just rotation again back to I think this will be the top side of the map or whatever. Top side of the map, just again looking around, seeing if there's any crows disturbed, any signs of life from Nancy. And actually no, just heading back to Anya to get the hook onto them. No unbreakable, of course, because it was on the deliverance. So I don't think our Nancy will want to be going for anything ridiculous here, like trying to get an unhook or anything. I think this game is clearly going to be a 4K1, but they might be able to get the hack out, turn it into a 4K, sorry, a 3K with 11 stages, with one day remaining. We do actually find our Nancy walking around, so this is going to be the last chase, I would assume, from our Survivor side of the level. Nancy's doing a little bit of a Kaz 360 there, a bit of a helicopter, just trying to predict it. Nancy did not blink there, and instead will just lose a bit of distance and get 2-tapped on the Ormond tile, and this will be the clean 4K1 for Jinx's kill here. I think Survivors did play this pretty well, but unfortunately they did not manage to pop that life generator for Claudette's death, which I feel like they could have done, but I think again if our nurse did not check that generator at the time when they did and the Claudette rotated at just a slightly different time, then I feel like our survivors could really have been going for outs or at least for but what's done is done, and it's a 4K1, and so Malevolent will have to try and if they want to stay in this, they'll have to try and tie it with a 4K1 of their own from their ownness, or if they can do better, then they'll push it to a 1-to-1 with a tiebreaker set. But we'll be seeing what we can do uh, if we're Malevolent's killer just after a short intermission. Welcome back, everybody. Now, if we have a look at the current screen that's being displayed now, unfortunately, you were not seeing gameplay, but we are just seeing my caster profile picture. That's me, Tavi. My caster profile picture and my voiceover. So we're actually not seeing any nurse gameplay. Um, the reason for this is because of well, technically a file corruption, but really is a PC crash that happened during the game recording from our spectator. So um, I'll just give you the results now. Unfortunately, we don't again have the gameplay because like the PC crash and the recording, of course, won't work when your PC's crash. So the results of our Malevolent killer from and our Jinx survivors was a 5-stage, 3 fresh, and we did get 1 kill on the side of Malevolent. So that will be the 2-0 victory from Jinx over Malevolent. So unfortunately, again, we don't have gameplay, but but we do have the results, and Jinx did go 2-0. So well played to Jinx. Well played Malevolent, but Jinx is the victor this time. And well, I'm Tavi, and that's it for tonight's game. So I'll see you next time.